how do you think this tariff and trade war is going? The trade war that President Trump has launched against the rest of the world. It's not just China, of course, although that is the number one target, but the president has also targeted American allies in Europe, here in North America, Canada and Mexico, in Asia, Japan, South Korea, on and on and on. All you have to do is read the newspaper to get a sense of just how things are going. Here's an example from a recent Wall Street Journal. This, as you can see, is the business and finance section. And the big headline, banks, deal makers are big losers. Also on that page, a little bit further down, energy producers worry as crude tumbles. Let me talk about that for a second. Every time there's an economic slowdown, the demand for oil falls, and that means the demand for gasoline falls too. We saw this during the pandemic when gasoline prices plunged. President Trump took credit for the fall in gas prices, said his policies are working. He's doing that again now, but guess what? A pandemic and or a slowing economy, an economic downturn, is not the way to lower gasoline prices, but the White House is not making that connection. Also on the front page of that section of the Journal, here's another disturbing headlines. Supply chains face disruption, retail prices set to jump. That means, of course, that every time you go to Walmart or Target or the grocery store or whatever it is you need to buy, higher prices will be the result of what you pay. Now, when you go to the back of that section, here's another story worth telling. A weak dollar stands to upend investing. This is a really big deal. The White House has always maintained that it wants the dollar to be strong. It wants the dollar to be the traditional reserve standard for the rest of the world. Most of the world does business in dollars. The White House wants that to continue. Well, guess what? Foreigners are now shunning the dollar. The dollar is actually collapsing on currency markets. This is a really big deal. The White House seems powerless, frankly, clueless in terms of how to stop it. Also on the back page of the Journal, here's one more headline to share here with you. At the bottom, it says, Trump thump stock swoon. That speaks for itself. As the markets fall, Trump obviously is getting the blame here. You might remember that during his first term when the stock market was rising, Trump talked about it all the time, said it was one of his favorite metrics, favorite data points to show just how well things are going. But when the opposite is true, when the market is falling, Trump, of course, changes his tune, says, well, you can't really look at the stock market on a day-to-day basis. You really have to take the long-term view of it like China does. They have a 100-year outlook. He says we should be similarly minded, or words to that effect. Interesting how the president changes his tune, changes his words as circumstances warrant. So that's where we are. If you look at how the tariff and trade war is going, not so good. The markets are down, the dollar is down, the bond market, by the way, which I didn't discuss, that is getting crushed as well.